Well, I'm ready to talk about the 1997 Camry rear brake shoe replacement. First thing you want to do is remove these springs that are in the way with a needle nose. Be able to pull those out. Next thing you want to do is take out those posts that hold the spring in place. Then you want to get this C-clamp out of the way. Screwdriver. You can see I'm trying to be careful not to lose it. Then I want to take the spring at the bottom of the shoes out with my brake shoe tool. Just put it in place and yank it out. Great. Now we have one more C-clamp that's in the way, but we're going to get that in a minute. There is a spring that holds this in place that's hooked to the brake shoe, and that is right there. So all you want to do is get your needle nose, pull that spring out of the way. Make sure you use some brake cleaner. Make sure that dust isn't flying all over the place. Once you do that, that piece comes out. There's a spring that's falling behind the shoe there. And I think I'm going to jiggle it a little bit. Next thing you want to do is pull out the other side. Pull that spring out with the needle nose and everything comes apart. Boom. Just like that. And there's the mechanism, the brake mechanism that you want to take out. It's in place there. And then once I remove it, it'll come right out. My screwdriver. Don't want to lose any of these parts that you're using. Now we'll get to that C-clamp. And this one's kind of tough, real close. The way I was able to do it was with a pair of pliers. Squeeze them together there so that way it'll squeeze out to the other side. Just like that. And once you squeeze it, the C-clamp will spread apart. And then with a pair of my screwdriver, I'm able to pry it out of there. Great. Now let's compare these brake shoes. I just went and got mine from O'Reilly's. You can see the new brake shoes right there. Much thicker than the old brake shoes. 210,000 miles. I don't think it's ever been replaced. I like to clean everything before I put everything back into place. See, that's where the C-clamp's going to go, so let's put that back the way we took it out. Put the C-clamp place and then squeeze it together with the pliers. And then squeeze it so it doesn't get loose or come out. Great. Now we put it back in. You can see it's a good fit. Next step is put the brake mechanism there with the spring. Goes right back in that little notch. You can see. Everything goes in back together. There's that little piece that comes out, and that needs to come through to the other side. Slide that into place, and there's a hole there right for that notch. Now you put that over, and there's a hole there on that mechanism where the spring that we pulled out, and I just basically pulled it back into place. There, that holds everything together. Once we do that, just put that right back in, and then just hold it in place, and let's put the other brake shoe in. Now what we want to do is put that spring in place so that way we can hold the brake shoe. Put the post back in, put the spring in place there, just like that. You can see my cameraman's shadow You just put that in, and then with the needle nose, just squeeze that together and then twist the post, and then it'll hold it in place. Just like that. Great. So now, once you have that in place, we'll go ahead and hold everything together for us. We can move on to the next phase, and that is put the other brake shoe. Put the brake shoe in place, you want to put that spring in place as well. That way it'll hold it in place while we try and fool with trying to get these springs on. You can see here I use the brake shoe tool, and by pulling the spring, I'm getting it to where it goes right into the hole there within the brake shoe that puts it into place. Great. Now it's in place. Holding the brakes in place. Now this one's a pretty tough one to do. I had to edit this to make sure I only got the parts that you needed to see, but it took me a while to get this across to the other side. Very tough. Finally I was able to get it like that. Perfect. And then I just kind of hammered it in place there, so that way it pop and stick with just a little tap, just like that. Pop. Now basically everything is back in place. Now what I did is I want to push it all together, squeeze it as tight as possible so we can put the brake drum back on. Tried to put the brake drum back on, but as you can see, there's this mechanism that spreads the brakes apart, so that way it'd be as close as you can to the brake drum without it touching. What I had to do here was loosen it so that way I could squeeze these brakes together to put the drum back on. Finally fit after I turned it, and just fit right back on, and then I'm done.